Welcome back to Market Headlines. Property associations, Real Estate Indonesia, say that the government's stimulus for property sector have boosted the property sales at the moment. However, due to high demand, the house price is now increasing as well. Chairman of Real Estate Indonesia, Paulus Totok Lucida, said property sales had indeed increased in March 2021 and even until April 2021. The last 3 months, property sales increased up to 15%. According to him, the property that is most in demand by people in the midst of pandemic is for the prices below 1 billion rupiah with a market share of 82.3%. However, due to high demand, the house price is now increasing. National house prices continue to show an increase, reaching 5.24% on the annual basis of March 2021. This is in line with an increase in housing demand during the pandemic. From all sources, IDX Channel. COVID-19 plunged Indonesia into a recession, leaving millions of people out of work. But in the middle of crisis, the housing market boomed. Why is that so? We are going to discuss about this Efek phenomenon through these following infographics, starting from the rise of housing prices in Indonesia. We can examine through the house price index. We can see the comparisons between the first quarter of 2020 and the first quarter of 2021. Here it is. In the first quarter of 2020, the index was at the level of 170. However, in the first quarter of 2021, which is the latest data, it was at 179. And yes, the increase, it was 5.24%. The nationwide house prices continue to show an increase, reaching 5.24% on the annual basis and during the first quarter of 2021. This is in line with the increase in housing demand during the pandemic. But overall, this is a very basic price mechanism of economic principle. The higher prices means the higher demand. More people have appetite to buy a house recently. As a result, some sellers realized that they could profit by raising a price. That is why the index increased around 5%. And there's a fun fact in here. Research results from the Housing Finance Center owned by Bank Tabungan Negara shows that the increase in house prices was supported by significant growth in medium-large terrace house for a house with a total floor of area of 70 square meters. So let's see the growth in the next graphic. Here it is. We can see the growth, the house index of a type 70 houses. We can see in the first quarter of 2020, the index was at the level of 153. But however, in the first quarter of 2021, the index was at the level of 161. The significant increase remarked for 5.49%. And yes, viewers, the significant increase in the price of type 70 houses was even higher than the growth before the pandemic, namely only 4.86% in December 2019. So, I can sum up that it went up by 4.86% before the pandemic, but it went up around 5.49% in the pandemic. Interesting, right? This type of house is generally in a great demand by the upper middle class, with the area that is quite relieved, and of course, the type 70 house is pitched at quite high price too. But the demand is increasing these days, and the question is, why is that so? And I will reveal the reasons in the next graphic. Here it is. We can see the reasons behind the revival of the national housing sector. Here it is. We can see there are reasons that it is provided by Bank Tabungan Negara. First of all, is a 0% down payment policy. And the next one is that rapid infrastructure. And yes, the ongoing vaccinations program. And the comeback of the business activities with health protocols as a new normal culture and the vaccinations already underway will provide a positive psychology for the property market. But the most important thing is, the housing market is on a sugar high brought by the government stimulus and a pandemic-fueled rush to low-density housing. Let's see the stimulus given by the government through the next graphic. Here it is. We can see some relaxations and stimulus policies in the property industry provided by the government. First of all, 100% VAT exemption on property purchases below 2 million rupiah. And then the next one is that the lowest mortgage rate of 4% up to 5% only. And the next one is that the 0% down payment, the iconic one. And the Indonesian Real Estate Associations, or REI, said that the various stimulus issued by the government has boosted property sales at this time. And the chairman, Paulus Totok Lucida, said that the property sales had indeed increased in the last 3 months up to 15%. According to him, the most wanted property in the midst of pandemic is for prices below 1 billion rupiah with the market share of 82.3%. And yes, viewers, hopefully government expanded the stimulus to more property segments so it can create a domino effect and demand will go on and on. Stay with us because market headlines will be right back after this quick break.